The Committee on Natural Resources will come to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Hilton Hotel here in the heart of Guam for this timely hearing on the importance of the U.S. Pacific Territories and the freely associated states to the United States' ability to counter the PRC's malign influence and maintain our nation's strategic interests in the region. Before we begin our official business, we'll begin the hearing with the U.S. National Anthem sung by Master Sergeant Jack Larimer from Joint Region Marianas. Sergeant, let's all stand and we'll do the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
If you'll remain standing, we will now do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Sergeant, for singing the national anthem, and thank you to everyone for being here today. Without objection, the chair is authorized to declare recess of the committee at any time. This committee is meeting today to hear testimony on peace through strength, the strategic importance of the Pacific Islands to U.S.-led global security. Under Committee Rule 4F, any oral opening statements at hearings are limited to the chairman and the ranking minority member. I therefore ask unanimous consent that all other members' opening statements be made part of the hearing record if they are submitted in accordance with Committee Rule 3.0. Without objection, so ordered. I would also want to make everybody on the panel, the members and the witnesses, aware that there's a 3-second delay, I'm told, with the microphone. So when you push the button, give a few moments to let the system get queued up before you begin speaking. I will now recognize myself for an opening statement. Hafaday and good morning. It's again a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Governor, for hosting us in Guam. Today, the House Committee on Natural Resources has the great privilege of convening this hearing on this beautiful island of Guam in the heart of the Pacific. I would like to thank the people of Guam for the hospitality that you've exhibited to our entire congressional delegation. It's truly an honor to be with you here today and to be joined by so many of my colleagues. The warm reception we have received reflects the beauty of this island and its people. I also want to thank members of Guam's local government who are with us or who are taking time to be with the delegation and meet with us while we're on the island. I would especially like to thank my friend and Congressman Jim Moylan for the invitation to visit the island and to hold this hearing, and most importantly, for his tireless work and on the Committee of Natural Resources on behalf of the people of Guam. Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the bipartisan group of members of Congress who have joined us for this historic hearing and thank each of them for being here. There are incredible demands on our time, and our participation in the hearing demonstrates the importance and the critical nature of our discussion. We're here today at a pivotal point in our nation's history. Less than 2,000 miles away lies a threat to America and our allies. The People's Republic of China, under the tyranny of the Communist Chinese, or the Chinese Communist Party, not only seeks to challenge American leadership, but is aggressively working to undermine the democratic values and institutions that we cherish. We are a freedom-loving people in America, and above all, we must never forget that it is freedom that unites us. It is freedom, and as we had some meetings earlier this morning, and I heard folks talk about the history of Guam and the way that people here cherish freedom and love freedom, and they've seen that freedom challenged in the past, that I know that it's truly an American thing that we, above all else, put freedom first, and we're willing to make sacrifices, and there have been many sacrifices made in the past to protect that freedom. And I have no doubt that as we move forward, we will make the necessary, take the necessary steps and make the necessary sacrifices so that people can love and enjoy freedom. And it's important to explain that when we refer to the PRC, we are referring to China's ruling Communist Party. There is a distinct difference between the PRC's leadership and the many Chinese citizens who long for that same freedom that we as Americans enjoy. The recent PRC state-sponsored hacking campaigns in Guam targeted critical U.S. infrastructure systems and demonstrate that Guam is not only a target for Chinese aggression, but is also on the front lines of the fight against this threat. Beijing is fully aware of the strategic importance of Guam to the U.S., and it's testing boundaries by simulating attacks on the island. Guam's importance to our nation's history cannot be overstated, and it's bravely faced foreign threats before. The tragedy and sacrifice made by the people of this island in World War II is not forgotten, as Guam celebrated Liberation Day last month. Our fight today is to preserve freedom across the U.S. territories and for all the U.S. allies in the Pacific. Like the Empire of Japan once did, the PRC aims to dominate the Pacific and island people. While modern threats may look slightly different and include political and informational warfare, the underlying motives of domination and aggression remain. The PRC continues its nefarious activities by using its resources to exert influence in the U.S. territories and the freely associated states. The U.S. will swiftly address and counter the PRC's maligned activity in the Pacific region. Congress has a responsibility to meet this challenge head-on and to protect our shared American interest. It is for this very reason that the members of this congressional delegation are here today. This hearing will spotlight the PRC's maligned activity in the U.S. territories and the freely associated states and examine how the U.S. will stand united against these threats, both on the continental part of our country and our partners in the Pacific. Again, I want to thank the witnesses for their participation in this important hearing, and I look forward to your testimony. I yield back my time, and I will now recognize the ranking member of the committee, our acting ranking member of the committee today, Ms. Ledger Fernandez from the great state of New Mexico.
Thank you so very much.
Go ahead.
3 seconds. Thank you so very much, Mr. Chairman. And I truly want to thank each of our witnesses who've come here today, because it is the role of Congress to truly listen. Because if we do not listen to the voices that come from the people of America, from the people who are experts, because you live this reality on these islands with the threat of China ever so close. And it is our job to listen to those so that we can then take your voices back to the People's House and determine a policy that is in many ways written by you and your concerns. And so I'm very grateful to the chairman for pulling this bipartisan visit together to the region. I'm very grateful in advance to what we have already learned on this visit, both about military issues, but also about what it means to be one Guam, what it means to be American in this island and in this great, beautiful Pacific. And we know that we must not say the U.S. as of though it is something over here, but when we are talking about the territories that are part of the U.S., it is us, the United States, that there is no us and them in this region. It is an us. And so I'm very thankful for that. The witnesses are so impressive. Governor Guerrero, Governor Palacios, Governor Mauga, and I hope I said that right, as well as to Minister Oding and Udi Jr. and the Acting Secretary Cantero. So it is actually my first visit to Guam, which it might be some of the others. I come from a state that is in the middle of the country. It has no island. It has no water around it. So whenever I see this much water, I get so very happy. And we recognize the decades, the 4 decades that the United States has maintained a special relationship with the freely associated states, the Federated States of Micronesia, and the Republic of the Marshall Islands, as well as the Republic of Palau. And the compacts of free association, as we've been listening to them in this committee over the last many months, recognize the importance of continuing that relationship into the future. And as my colleagues have said, I do not think that there is any doubt that all of us don't recognize that importance. We are unified in a bipartisan manner across these issues. And our need in this visit to once again listen to you tell us of why it is so important, so we can then go back and convince our colleagues. And I don't think they'll need that much convincing. I think you all have done a good job, and history has done the job of telling us why this is important and why this region is in this moment as important as it is. The Biden administration and the presidential envoy for COFA negotiations, Ambassador Joseph Yun, are really be commended for securing these new compact agreements with FSM and Palau in May. And while negotiations have not been completely concluded with the RMI, we expect that they will be soon. Approving the proposal to review the financial provisions of the Compact of Free Association with FSM Palau and the MRI will continue our engagement with the FAAs and diminish the risk of China filling the vacuum in the region. We have heard when you have said that our people are scared of China because these are smaller islands and these are places where the threat could be easily carried out. And so we will continue that, and we will continue to make sure that this point of the spear, as it's been pointed out, continues to be strong and aimed accurately. In conclusion, I want to once again thank you, Mr. Chairman, for scheduling this hearing today. I want to thank the panelists for pointing out that it's not just the military link, but it is also the link that will honor the sacred that it is, the waters, the sea, and all those beautiful creatures of earth and of God that we have been given to protect those, to protect the environment, even as we protect the people and the security of each of the islands and of the United States. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so very much, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you, Representative Ledger Fernandez. I'll now introduce our witnesses. On our first panel, we'll be having 2 panels today, and first off, someone who obviously needs no introduction here, but the Honorable Lourdes Lou Leon Guerrero, Governor of Guam from Hagatna, Guam. The Honorable Arnold Palacios, Governor of the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands from Saipan, Mariana Islands. The Honorable Caleb Udui, Jr., Minister of Finance, Republic.
Sorry, how come we're not having a hearing on this moral right to self-determination? How to go about that instead of mongering about China?
The Honorable Caleb Udui, Jr., Minister of Finance, Republic of Palau, Palau. The Honorable Ricky Quintero, Acting Secretary, Department of Foreign Affairs, Federated States of Micronesia of Pohnpei, Federated States of Micronesia. The Honorable Jack Adding, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Republic of the Marshall Islands. Majuro, Republic of Marshall Islands. Now let me remind the witnesses that under committee rules they must limit their oral statements to 5 minutes, but their entire statement will appear in the hearing record. To begin your testimony, please press the on button. Remember there is a 3-second delay, and we do use timing lights. When you begin, the light will turn green. At the end of 5 minutes, the light will turn red, and I'll ask you to please complete your statement. I'll also allow witnesses on the panel to testify before member questioning. The chair now recognizes Governor Guerrero for 5 minutes.
Chairman Westerman, Ranking Member Congresswoman Fernandez, and members of the House Committee on Natural Resources, Hafa-Adai. Welcome to Guam, and thank you for flying so far to meet us here. I want to emphasize the vital importance of Guam and other Pacific islands in U.S.-led global security. Throughout history, Guam has played a crucial role due to its strategic location, sitting at the crossroads of Pacific powers. With its protected harbor and comparatively large landmass, Guam serves as a critical hub for air and sea travel connecting China, Southeast Asia, Japan, and North America. This positioning has made Guam pivotal in major American conflicts, contributing to peace and shared prosperity in the Pacific. However, in recent times, China's increasing influence in the region has raised serious, threatening, and real concerns. China's efforts to expand its reach to other Pacific Island countries through infrastructure projects, political maneuvering, and socio-economic coercion have repercussions for the Pacific Islands, including Guam. China's intentions indicate a potential threat to regional stability, an attempt to exert control over the region concealed in otherwise benign diplomatic agreements. Security in the Pacific means a viable and robust economy. Security in the Pacific means an educated workforce, a quality healthcare system, reliable infrastructure, resiliency of a community, and digital modernization. Security in the Pacific and the stable trade with Asia that follows, it resonates far beyond the Pacific. Nearly 95% of America's potential customers live outside U.S. borders. 29% of U.S. exports of goods are sent to Asia. And this region represents over $2 trillion in trade in goods with the United States in 2022. Moreover, the supply chain that sustains our daily lives from food to electronics rely on a secure Pacific. Given these circumstances, the question before us is simple. Who should shape the rules of future trade in the Indo-Pacific? If the U.S. does not engage actively, China will, writing a future that will never put Americans first. To prevent this, I support bipartisan efforts to enhance U.S. engagement in the region and support efforts to bolster the security of Guam, other key territories, and our allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific. This ensures the ability to drive prosperity in a free and open Indo-Pacific, especially for developing democracies in the Pacific. I also urge the committee to create policies that allow Pacific Island countries to tap into American innovation and entrepreneurship to address perennial challenges. Furthermore, I ask Congress to recognize that our actions in the Pacific reflect the values we share: peace, prosperity, and a free democracy. I thank the Senate for including Guam in RECA legislation, and I ask the House for their support. By ensuring the treatment of COFA citizens By ensuring fair treatment of COFA citizens and investing in Guam's infrastructure and workforce development, the U.S. demonstrates its commitment to collaboration. Initiatives like a Guam-only visa program, COFA cost reimbursement, H-2B visa program, and funding for a new hospital showcase America as a reliable partner capable of cooperation and competition. In closing, I thank you, Chairman Westerman, and this committee for the opportunity to address this crucial issue. Let us work together to preserve peace, win prosperity, and expand opportunity in the Indo-Pacific region. Si Jules Masi.